So we're gonna make some carne asada. This is a very old recipe of mine, and I'm gonna share it with you. Now, the thing I like to start off with first is these two things. You just do 4 teeth of garlic. And then this guy will set aside. You can also use this guy since you're gonna marinate over a few hours or overnight. It'll rehydrate and it works really, really good. I'm gonna use the fresh stuff. Really easy. Set your trash aside. And then simply gonna lay it on its side, lay the knife on top. Make sure not to cut yourself. Don't turn the knife this way. Keep it blade side down. And do that. Okay. And then the skin will just fall right off. Cool. Okay, at this point, give a little more smash, rough chop. And then all the kids go in the pool. Bye kids. Go to the pool. Go swimming with your cousins. Alright, let's cut the tops off of this guy. We're gonna grab a moist rag and kind of wipe these guys off. Any extra little pieces, just tear them off. Just wipe them off though. Real good. Make sure there's no dirt. And these are just like a vegetable aside that tastes really good when you marinate them overnight. Or over like 4 or 5 hours. Alrighty, that's ready. At this point, we're gonna deal with the meat. And with the meat, I know some people are like, oh my God, that's gonna get on my cutting board. That's for growth. It's okay, I got a solution. Okay, we got some plastic wrap. And then let's get our meat. What I like to do is lay it all out first. I make sure that I coat the surface. I don't want it to be salty, so I'm careful not to over salt, but it's seasoned to taste. Jump in with this guy over here. Okay, and then you flip the meat over. Now I'm going pretty heavy with the salt. And that's because it's gonna get diluted once you add the beer into this delicious carne asada. Okay, salt, set it aside. And then get the excess salt off my hands, and then get some cumin. And by the way, thank you Spiceology for the cool gifts. And same thing, give it a turn. And if you don't get every single inch, it's okay. The beer's gonna absorb all the salt, all the cumin, and really is gonna create this marinade that's gonna marry all the flavors together. So I'm trying to get as much as possible, but really at the same time, the beer will take care of it. Okay. All right, kids. I'm gonna bring you out of the pool. And then we're gonna put this guy in. Boom, with all that beautiful garlic. Get chopped up right here. Okay, at this point, let's grab one beer. Bottoms up. There's one whole beer. I mean, depending on how much meat you're marinating, I'd say you can assess at that point. And that's when, here, let me show you what that kind of looks like. It's kind of swimming in it a little bit. That's okay, because I'm gonna move it around. Make sure all the beer gets everywhere. The garlic moves around. And then these guys too. I wanna bring them in the party as well. You put this aside and don't look at it, don't touch it for the next at least, let's say 2 to 4 hours. Honestly, overnight will give you way better flavor, but 2 to 4 hours you should have a good amount of flavor as well. And then we'll go back to the cook. But now let's start with the onion. The onion, if you notice, one side's cut off. I always cut off one side so that I have something to work with. Cut it down the middle, and then cut the butt off, right? At this point, take the skin off. Skin off, set that aside. At this point, we're gonna small dice the onion because we don't want huge chunks of onion when you're eating rice. That's weird. But you do want small dice because you want that good flavor that we're gonna caramelize with the rice. So to do that, let's do this. Okay, and to make it easier to dice it, set some aside. You can do this whole stack. You can make a smaller stack. From here, you go 1, 2, 3. So 3 cuts, 1, 2, 3, and then you make little cubes. Same thing with the last little bit. 1, we'll do 2 because it's not that big of a piece. And just put it down. And that's the onion dicing part. So what you want to do is fire roast all sides, and then that'll get the meat really tender, and it'll be easy to clean off the outer layer of the chili. And you want to hear that crackling, that popping. That's a good thing. That means it's doing its thing. You want it to get really nice and toasty, almost in every corner. So you see there's little burn marks. Not enough, but we're getting started. And I put it directly on the fire. I want to get it as dark as possible. I want the meat to be tender before I start to work with it. All right, we got it all. It's all completely dark, every single side. Probably should turn the fire off. And then just put it in a bowl. At this point, we're gonna plastic wrap this, let it sweat, and that's gonna make all that skin be easy to take off. All right, we're back. As you can see the moisture in there. This chili has been sweating. It's nice and soft. Let's take this off. It's been in there for about 5 minutes. You can see the water from it. Nice. Okay, let's do that. Set that aside. And that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna wipe off that skin. All the char. Okay, at this point, once I've wiped off most of the char, take off the little stem. Right there. You got this guy. And then all those little seeds. You don't want that in your rice. So let's get it all off. Or as many of them off. The capsaicin level in this isn't very high, so you don't need to worry about getting it on your hands. I would still not touch my face with this, and also coronavirus, so don't touch your face. But yeah, wash your hands. When you're dealing with this, you don't want to get a face burn, right? And really easy, just do one of these, rough chop. Because you're gonna make it a paste, right? You just want to make it easy on the blender. And if you have some pieces like this that have some, you could try to take them off. Honestly, a little bit. It's just gonna give it a little bit of that char flavor, so it's okay. It's no biggie. Okay, and at this point, we have nice, cleaned, washed cilantro. And what I like to do is this. This part, unless you're making a stock, like a Mexican stock, you really can't use this. This guy right here, you just go like this. Careful not to touch the blade. You can cut your hand very easily. And nobody wants that. I always start off at my lowest setting. So 1. If for some reason it's not cooperating, you could either stick this right here and get all the sides. I like to add a little bit of oil. A little bit more than a little of oil. And then let it go. All right, we got a paste. At this point, we're gonna heat up our pan. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of oil. We're gonna let it get to a smoking point. Once you have a hot pan, you add the oil and it starts to smoke a little bit. You add the onions. That's my favorite sound ever. That's about what we want to see. Nice golden color. And if there's a few pieces that are a little bit charred, that's okay. And we add our rice. Now you can use this guy right here and stir it around. If you need to add a little bit more oil, just add a little bit more oil. That's approximately 4 cups of rice that we put in there. So it can take a good amount of fat. Trick is you move it around a little bit, get it nice and loose. And here we go. That'll give it a nice, we'll fold all the rice amongst itself. And that's it. Once you reach this consistency. Once your rice looks like that, you have golden brown throughout, specks. The onion looks beautiful. I would season it with some salt at this point, and that's gonna be the only time you season it with salt. So make sure you cover it. 4 cups, I'm gonna do about 3 good sized pinches. And let's do a little extra. Move it around. Get everything to be married together. Now what's cool is you're gonna add water to the pot. So even if you don't fold in the salt really good, all the flavor is gonna get married together once it cooks in the pot. Okay guys, there we have it, the finished product. Eat it how you want to, make tacos, make a plate. It's your choice. I'm gonna dice these up. I'm gonna dice this up, make tacos with a little bit of onion on there. Enjoy.